Life as Art talk series, Dasho. You are not somebody who is new to VAST. We have many of our young people in VAST who have grown old, like Zumbera, but have seen your kindness. We've been recipient of your generosity, and this is actually it's an opportunity for us to capture a piece of your life.
That's kind of you. No, really, VAS is all about Asha Karma, you know. And Asha Karma's and his team started this, and I love the work that they're doing, especially with children.
Yes.
Children, and really, it was when we went for this Folklife Festival in 2005, I think it was, no, to Washington.
The
Smithsonian.
Yes.
And Aja, we all went together, and Aja was doing a painting over there that we got to know him. And what a wonderful man, how silent he is, so humble. And what a nice guy he really is, you know. And since those days, I've been trying to, in my very small way, try to support and always, and but my support is nothing compared to the work that they put in, the dedication that Aja and all his fellow people, who's the initial founders of VAS. We just had Rajesh here just now a little bit, the shy boy.
Yes,
the shy boy.
Elusive. He's been refusing to be on the show.
But you know, they put in good time.
Yes.
And it's how many years since VAS started?
This April 7th will turn 27.
27,
yes,
wow. Yes. Amazing. And it's turned into a really creditable and respected civil society organization.
Yes, Dasho.
VAS has had good leadership, I think. After Aja left, you took over.
Only because of we have to pay. No, it's not even paying forward, but you receive kindness, no?
Yeah.
And then you believe in something.
Yeah.
And more than, but then it has been about people who believed in this. I do not think so. The founders even realized that it was a cause.
Yeah.
They did it all out of compassion,
you know,
and kindness.
Art is something you can't quite put your finger on it, you know.
Yes.
It's and I'm a shitty judge of art. Don't ever ask me about art. I'll tell you a little story. You know, in Calcutta, when I came back from England, I used to go to the Oxford bookstore in Park Street. And I used to meet a chap there regularly, an artist who used to go around barefoot. And he was, I think my father was been very kind to him. This was in 1966, 67. And then he and we got to talking because I was there buying books on horse racing and whatnot. And he was always there. And we would talk each other, and then we'd become good friends. Not close friends as such, you know, but we were there, you know, knew each other. And he knew I was the son of Jigme Dorji. And then one day he came and said, Dorji Sahab, hamara painting le lo. And I turned around and said, Sala, tum kon ho sochta? Picasso? You know who this guy was? M.F. Hussain.
M.F. Hussain?
Absolutely, M.F. Hussain.
Please tell me
and I told him, who the hell do you think you are, Picasso? So don't ask me about art, because if I had bought Mr. Hussein's paintings in those days, which is anything from 5,000 rupees upwards, 9, 10,000, 6,000, I would be a multi-millionaire, you know, about the thing.
But
I didn't buy a single painting of his.
You used to be hanging around in that
together.
Same area.
And people were telling me, you know, he's the artist with a future and all that. And I didn't see any future in his art.
Las,
It's
las,
all scrolling.
las.
So
But
don't ask me about art. So
no, but then this is where this whole life as art talk series is about art as a profession, art as a medium. Um, uh, if we look at art just as somebody who is painting or just creating music, but it is more about also people who have lived a very colorful life like you, La.
no. But you know,
so we want to capture that, and we
but
want.
what you people have done is you have promoted you. Art is also an expression of people,
Yes,
no?
La, yes.
And there are many young Bhutanese who are not good in school, not tops in their class, but who could express themselves in a different form. And you have given them a platform to express themselves. And some of them have become excellent artists.
Yes,
They've
La.
grown up to be. And even then, you have to tell, even for my Bhutanese artists, I didn't have much good taste. When I first saw Zimbi, Zimbi, I mean, he was a friend's daughter. Her paintings were rather darkish. Those early pictures. I wasn't a great, but you know, she is a artist of great note today. People pay in England and all. People who know about art pay huge sums of money for her paintings and her sculpture, her art. I mean, and she has really blossomed. You know, she's really blossomed, and I'm sure as have many other Bhutanese. You know, many have been blossomed and have been able to explore and found a new life, found a place in society.
So it's really, when you talk about art as in a very, but it narrows down, remember? If we just look at it as something to be on the wall or something just that is there, but it's really, truly, this is what Vast has been trying to do. You allow basically to look deep inside yourself and being true to yourself, and then being able to use various mediums to express and then share it. Or maybe like some will just keep it to themselves, but somehow you have released it in Mebala. And but that's for people who conventionally have tools and they're using it. But
and even in art, different forms of expression.
Yes, so you have been. This is what I'm trying to say. Many people always in this talk show also, they say, I am not an artist. I do not know about art.
I told you from the beginning over here, I am an artist. I'm a bullshit artist.
Oh, yes. So how bullshit are you?
Oh,
we will dwell on that
you
then.
know, let me, you know, all my life.
So what do you mean by bullshit? What have you been thinking?
I used to drink a lot. And I talk. And during my school days, I had a reputation of just being a yapper. A guy who talked a lot. And probably who talked a lot of bullshit. And
why do you say that?
I won't say bullshit because it was always... I didn't know exactly what I meant when I was talking about it with the thing. And for me in my life, I was a servant of a king, the fourth king. So I would say, in my limited way, how to serve the king, as a servant. I knew I didn't have the brains to be a minister and, serve in that capacity. My illustrious parents and grandparents who served the country, for me, I knew I didn't have that. I wasn't serious enough for that. I never was. So I took the only thing that I knew much about was wildlife. So I thought we should do something with conservation in Bhutan. And I suppose I was bullshitting about it because I really didn't know much. But I hit bullseye. And I thought I was doing something new, but only recently I met the fourth king's school days best friend called Charles Pearson, who was the son of Lord Cowdery. And they used to have the beds next to each other. And then another night he used to tell me what he and His Majesty used to talk about. And I said, hey, hang on a minute there, Charles. You mean to say you two, His Majesty, and you were talking about wildlife and nature and all? And Charles, yeah, Jigme was telling me that this is what he wants to do when he becomes the king, you know. And he was going to look after the nature of Bhutan, the animals, the wildlife. And I said, hello, hang on there, Benji. You didn't start all this bloody thing. You were just an instrument.
Yes.
You know, that's why when I started talking about all this thing, and everybody was saying, oh, don't listen to this bad man, His Majesty knew what I was talking about because it was something that he wanted done. And so he gave me the freedom to do all this thing on his behalf because it was his dream that these things should be done in Bhutan, that the nature of Bhutan should be looked after, the wildlife of Bhutan should be protected.
Yes.
Can you imagine that? I only find out a year ago.
Dasho, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised now.
I'm not surprised.
Because what a great king.
I'm not surprised that, Dasho, that you were true to yourself. And the very fact that you're telling openly that you were not academically somebody very, very excellent.
No.
But that is what makes you who you are, being aware.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you hit the jackpot. You hit the jackpot.
I hit the jackpot, that's for sure.
Because you were passionate about it.
Yeah.
And you really did not know, but you were passionate about it and you rolled it. And this is where you were creative, you know, la.
Yeah.
You really touch base with yourself and you're creative. And this is what is arts, la.
Oh,
and this is how we
just
look
lucky,
at.
somebody up there looking after, just luck.
Yes, that is true. But actually saying there's always somebody looking.
Yeah.
But we human beings, we tend to obscure ourselves with too many doubts about ourselves in Mebala. And first of all is not acknowledging who we are. And I think from the way we've seen you, Dasho, that you've really been in your mess, in your joy, you've always been true to your feelings, Dasho, and that's what
I hope so. And
beautiful to see you and your glimpses of your life. Of course, we don't get to see everything, but you've allowed yourself to be vulnerable. You know, you've allowed yourself to speak your truth always, so that it helps young people. Besides your the climate change and environment, you've really been
believe in themselves. What I want really to do, and when I talk to young people, and I wish more teachers would ask me to come and speak to their students, because I don't mind sharing my life with students. And in sharing my life with the youth in Bhutan, who really are the future, and in their turn will become the older generation, and they will have to encourage the youth of their generation, and so on. And we must have this rolling forward, a culture of having respect for the youth. Because you must respect them, because they're the ones who bring in new thinking, new lines, and you bring them to have confidence in themselves. And if you can do something to help somebody to become more confident, be more bold in his thinking, you know, and that's what we want. And we want our future leaders to think not about themselves. We want them to think about the people of the country. And we want to ask them to think about the country, the well-being of Bhutan. And for us, when we think of our well-being of our Bhutan, we think of our king automatically, because every country needs a leader. We have been so fortunate to have such great leaders. And we want to continue to have great leaders. And some of these young people whom we are trying to think will become future leaders. And we hope that they will become great leaders also, following the example of the great four and His Majesty the Fifth, and before them, right from Uyawanchu, the first king onwards, they were great. We were very lucky. They were great kings.
Yes, we've been so fortunate.
Yeah, we were so fortunate.
And then we had this transition to modern this one, where we do see this right now, the struggles of, especially for young people. Dasho, you've seen it. You've seen it from 1940s.
Oh, I've seen it from let's say from a feudal kingdom.
Feudal kingdom, and to see that, and how do you feel that this transition? Do you worry about it?
I never worry. I think I never worry as long as the king is there. And the king is also very thing, and he is very patient and I know he loves his people. And when we suffer, I know he suffers.
Yes.
But then democracy, we've just changed to democracy, constitutional monarchy and the democracy government. It's not an easy thing because I don't think our political leaders know what democracy really is. So they think it's a free license to, I shouldn't say some of these things, but a free license to take everything for themselves, which I see, I'm very sorry to say, but these things will happen. These things will happen. And there will be a time, and we just keep our fingers crossed, that in this process, they will also learn a lesson, what is true democracy, how to start caring and thinking about the king and country and the people. The people, everybody forgets that when you talk about country, you can't only just talk about a great king. A great king needs good subjects also. And these subjects need to be taken care of. Because only when they're taken care of will they make our king great.
So how do we make it as even the voices, and how do we have this healthy way of putting our leaders accountable?
You're asking someone who really doesn't know. If I knew, I would have been a leader.
No, the common subjects, the common
But
men.
all I know, all throughout my life, with influence from my father and serving with His Majesty, the fourth king, His Majesty, whatever we have done, I've noticed that everything the greatness of His Majesty, the Geb Shiva. I talk because I served under him, because I serve under the fifth king, but I'm not that closely, so I would know this. So I'm just talking about the fourth king. Please, the fifth king, of course, is great in his own right, but we talk just now of the fourth, because that's whom I served with. So his concern was always for the people. And if you note that whenever there is anything to do with the people, any time when the people need to be consoled, when the people need to think, he's always there, isn't it?
So swift.
And very quickly, he doesn't think twice, he's there. And nobody knows he's there. And one day there was a forest fire, near, just here in Thimphu, near my house, and people were fighting king, and somebody was looking at who's fighting the fire next to him? He saw two kings fighting the fire with him.
Wow.
There, hands on. I mean, in what country does that happen?
We truly are blessed.
And whenever there's a thing, he's always there to console people, families, in times of goodness and in times of tragedy. You're always there. So that's what makes good leaders. And then when people see that, then the people become also good people.
That is...
because they know that they have a king who cares for them.
There's a care. There is someone who is always selflessly
Yeah.
looking out.
Yeah.
And not just looking out, but really, really
Yeah.
deeply caring. But then there are other machineries around,
Yeah.
you know, other machineries. And you've been champion of environment, you've been champion of the youth. How do you think so? How much more, or how do you want to bridge this between?
Well, you know, champion, everybody
people?
gives me a lot of titles and all, but then you've got to realize that, as I mentioned to you earlier on, I was just an instrument. And in everything that I did, always I did as a servant of the king. Uh, one doesn't do things for oneself, you know. For me, I'm a servant. I want my king to be a great king. So I have to do whatever is necessary as a servant to make sure that my
Because
king.
our king is in service
Yeah.
of all.
So and I'm so lucky that I found through we hit the right buttons,
Yes.
and I was able to do all this because His Majesty gave me the political will and support to do all the things I have done.
Yes.
Without that, everything would have just died as a good idea.
Yes. So what has been one of the most challenging but fulfilling
Oh, so many.
one thing that has been very dear to you?
No, nothing, really nothing. Nothing is
Last.
nothing for me. Nothing. I think the great moments for me comes is when my king is recognized by the world as one of the champions of
Yes.
conservation in the world, and he receives the award from thing on behalf of the country, and His Majesty, in his humility, also gives it and says, "It's not for me. It's the people who worked for me who did all this." And it is that, and that is enough to make me happy. The other thing to make me happy is to see the people that we got as young. I've had my days. So what am I today? I'm a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader in school.
Yes, you truly are.
And you know how things which you do in school also happens through all your life. So I'm a cheerleader now, and I'm not here to tell all the young people I did this in a better way in our days. Never. That's wrong. You have to tell them, "Oh, you're doing this. Well done. Carry on."
I rejoice.
Yeah, rejoice.
I rejoice. I salute
Always
your
support
effort.
them.
You can do this.
Yes.
You don't have to figure everything out.
Yeah.
But then, yes, you
So,
something.
this is the thing in my days, I did it. That's all rubbish. Nobody did anything. The future of the country is always with these people. And what makes me so happy is there's so many of them. I go through Facebook, I see birds of Bhutan, I see the animals of Bhutan, the butterflies of Bhutan, and all these guys sharing knowledge amongst themselves and looking after and caring, and they are the future champions. And now that we are getting, and they will create more, and the Bhutanese who care about their country and their nature.
Yes.
And for me, in this little niche of mine, which I have carved out for myself, and they're doing all this, gives me immense pride and joy.
Yes.
So what more can we say about that?
I'm still going to dig deeper into how you came into being like this, Nola.
Oh, I don't know. Influence of my father.
Yes. So we'll talk about your father and your
my father was
intimate
Jigme Dorji.
Yes, intimate conversations.
And in those old days, until the time of my father's death, the whole of southern Bhutan was given to the Dorji family to run on behalf of the king. And all the southern Bhutan officers and all used to be sent from Bhutan House, Kalimpong.
Las.
So my father and his father before, they were known as the Tin Sarkars.
Las.
His Majesty, the king, was always the Panch Sarkar.
Oh, las.
So we were my father, and my father would then travel and do most of his work down in southern Bhutan, starting from Samchi, Chiang Mai, Samchi, Pinsoling, Sarbang up to Chirang, down and right up to Samdudongka, which used to be known, Samdudongka used to be known as Darang. Godama. Godama, you know. And so all these, and then my father used to take me with him on all his tours of southern Bhutan. So we used to go on all these tours every winter.
Like from very
I
young
was
age?
about 14.
Last teenager.
So I was about 14, yeah. I started accompanying my father on the tours of southern Bhutan. And we drive from Kalimpong and to Samchi, and then, you know, it was a different time.
Did you communicate, or did you have conversation? Your father used to have
yes,
like open conversation?
He would tell me why things were done, what happened. My basic thing was to be a servant to him, no? I used to make his doma for him. When you're driving, light a cigarette for him while he was driving, and then light the cigarette and he would smoke.
So you had your mentor and an internship kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And you were
and
absorbing memory.
Absorbing the knowledge, what had happened.
Watching.
And I used to see all the southern Bhutan, what slowly being built up.
Yes.
And but then, of course,
did it frighten you that you would? It's coming up. Did it frighten you in a way that your father has such a high?
No, never. My father, I used to be with my father all the time. I used to be, as I grew older, he taught me how to play mahjong. I used to be as kuthap when he used to play mahjong in Calcutta, or when he was playing rummy and he had to go for a business meeting. He said, "Here, son, play for me," you know. And I would be a jockey, and they were gambling big stakes, huh?
So he trusted you.
Yeah, he trusted me, and but one thing my father would always tell me, "Phu manje mein bjaroi se." Never forget, son, we're servants.
So in that context, as when we say servants,
that we enjoy all our power and privilege as long as we serve the king properly.
So I just wanted to put this in context, because when most people, this day especially, when we say servant, it's almost like a British kind of like, you know, there's a hierarchical feeling of service, that the word servant is not taken well. But I understand where it is stemming from. Yours is coming from.
Where we have a very close thing, that we have been given a tremendous amount of responsibility to take care of the country's affairs on behalf of the king.
Yes.
I mean, and that way we are servants, you know.
Yes.
We are still in the service of the king. But I talk because in those days, in the terms, we have just come out of the feudal system, you know.
Yes.
We came out of the feudal system in 1953. And it was just only a few years later that I'm there in service, you know, like in service with my father going around. And as all the old people will tell you, the moment we're born, you know, in the thing, and our fathers in the service, we are also rationed. We are included in the ration. So you're actually, from your childhood, the day you're born, you're in the bonded to the king, in service to the king.
And then that's
Toja-tamchi.
And Dasho, that deep, you've seen transitions, no?
Yeah.
That transitions, has it been challenging and?
No, my father would, you know, brainwash me, saying that you will serve the king and the country. And then he would say, you know, son, Don't think you're going to get a job just because you're my son,
Las.
because you are not the only guy I'm educating.
Las.
You will have to fight for your job
Las.
as you come back to the country after
Las.
finish. But luckily for me, I didn't have to fight for my job, no?
Las.
Because I was still one of the early days guys to receive education.
Yes, la. Yes, la.
But I was a guy who didn't, like a lot of my contemporaries, they all, at least, they were good students and they finished their education.
Las.
But me, I didn't. I came back, you know, quite a useless chap.
I do understand about the struggles of people who are not privileged, but I also want to talk about the struggles of, I know you will deny struggles, but in a very blatant way kind of struggle, but was there any kind of, to keep up and to live up to expectations as a privileged...
I don't know, I suppose my aim was always to serve and the best king in the world. So I was so privileged that I was selected to be a kadib, and you know, and you're young and you're there and you have this opportunity, and somehow or the other your master will always take care and, you know, guide you. And I was always very comfortable.
You were very most endearing.
So I never really had a struggle as such. Except that I think I was very privileged to serve. And I had let's say, a gift that I could make him laugh.
Yes.
And we had similar interests, and I was able to entertain His Majesty, keep him laughing, keep him mind. Because, you know, for a young man like His Majesty, who didn't have a youth because the third king passed away and His Majesty was still a teenager, and to take over the reins of a country and to be serious, you've lost a lot of your youth, you know.
Yes.
Life is a very, I think struggles would be more for him than for me. But one would say that while we were involved in all frivolous activities in the Kokha, he was educating himself. Whenever we went around the country, everywhere, studying, he was always talking with the people, looking for what the people's aspirations were, and trying to put two and two together, how he could serve his people. That's one of the great things. When you talk about we serving him, he is thinking about how can he serve his people. And that is, I think, why the Bhutanese monarchy is so special. Because our kings serve their people. They don't rule. And I think this has been repeated over and over again by His Majesty the Fifth King. Is, if you recall, His Majesty saying, I will not rule you. I will serve you. And that, you know, that speaks a lot. I think I cannot see how elected officials can't get that drilled into their head, that they are to serve the people instead of serving themselves.
Because Dasho, it takes, for all human beings, I guess it needs
a special person, isn't it?
How do you say? To be in grounds like that for a very long time. And I think, Dasho, from what we see with your life, in your father in service of the king and the people, so that was already natural for you, Mewala. But for most ordinary people, it's
and then
this is where I think it's important. How do we familiarize and to have that kind of feelings nurtured from young?
And today, as I sit and talk with you, don't ever think I was always this guy, this great guy. No, we've all been through our lives, and we've all been put in our place. And I have a master who put me, and I learned and trained. I was when we are young, you're always arrogant. You always say, but you learn a lot as you grow. The thing is, you can learn
Yes, la.
and change your ways
Yes,
to
la.
become a better human being.
Yes, la.
And one of the things that you had to get over, and when you have a good master and he guides you, is to overcome your arrogance and to overcome ego.
Yes.
These are things that you have to overcome.
Yes.
And he was the master of it all.
Las. And to be in his grace.
Yeah.
Mola.
You had to shed all these funny ideas that you had about yourself to be able to serve him well.
Las. But to first
So,
to be able to recognize.
people like myself,
Mola.
when we talk of faults, we all had faults, no? And we have to know that we have these faults, these human faults, and we have to learn to overcome these faults and learn from them and change.
Las. So Dasho, another crucial person that has been very instrumental in your life, who helped you through your most while you used to drink.
Yes. Is Aji
Yes, I would like to. We know about it, but
she is the fourth king in the female form. A person with great love,
compassion,
and compassion, so much, and how she can think you give. And if it had not been for Aji Rinpoche, who said, they call me Aja, even though I'm a Phogim, no, they call me Aja. They called me Aja since they were little. And a lot of people say, oh, why is Aji calling you Aja? No, you're not Aja at all. No, that's true. But they can call us anything they want, as a matter of fact. But I was an alcoholic. And I thought I could, in control of myself. Tashilampi would always say, you're never an alcoholic, you're just an asshole of a drinker. But nevertheless, an asshole of a drinker does become an alcoholic. And I used to shake, and then my hands used to shake. And then when I used to eat food, barely a spoon of food could go into my mouth, And then then Her Majesty said, Royal Grandmother said, you'd make my son very happy, because if you could stop drinking, because he's really worried something terrible will happen to you. So I said, if the king is worried, then I must make the effort to stop drinking. So I kept on going tomorrow. For about 7-8 days I went tomorrow. Then I called Balab Sharma. Said, he was throwing all the things. I said, not now, doctor. Don't waste good drink, Tomorrow I'll go. So, okay, then, and I was drinking. Then I got a call from Ashkezom saying, who's taking you to the hospital? I believe you're going to the hospital tomorrow. I said, I'm going myself. She said, no. You pack your bags and wait. I'm coming at 9 o'clock. And there was no tomorrow for that. If Aji had not come and taken me to the hospital, I would have probably continued drinking. And I would not be sitting here today. You would probably be talking to my son, ask him, and what was your father like? And I'm really grateful. Stopping drinking made me realize many things, changed my life completely. I don't get angry now. If I don't like people, I just cut them out from my life. But there's no need to fight and shout and go around.
No malice.
Just leave them and let them lead their own life. You lead your own life.
Yes.
And I don't get angry anymore. It takes a lot to get me angry now, because let's say to get angry with somebody, I'm harming myself more than I'm harming
and to set your boundaries well.
Yeah, so you mature a lot also.
Wow.
And I think stopping drinking has changed me as a person, much for the good. I also have found out that there's not much you can do for other people who drink or do drugs, because you find out that when I stopped, it had to be my own decision, not somebody else's decision.
Yes, true.
It had to be mentally here in my own head.
Yes.
That I had to give up drinking.
But but I'm sure people must have come forward to you. I've heard from some of these young people who have never met you but heard you.
Yeah, I'm prepared to share with them.
They have stopped because of
Some people I used to
words.
know, I would talk to when I would meet in the early days, talk to these alcoholic trying to give, and they would go, you know. I say, wait, I'm not telling you what I've read from a book.
Yes, experience.
I'm telling you what I experienced in life.
Yes.
So listen carefully, you know. I'm telling you what I experienced, and that's the only way you can stop.
And
is that you have to make a decision in your head what is good for you.
And this is where, Dasho, I wish a lot of, there's a disconnect between young people and elderly, thinking the elderly have it all. They
don't. Alcohol, these diseases are open to everybody.
And this is where I think it what makes you really an artist is because you were willing to be vulnerable and share. And because of this, it has helped young people connect that not everybody
is perfect.
Is perfect, but you can figure it out. Being resilient, Resilient doesn't mean always on the high. There is a down, but then you pick yourself up again. Your mental, the fortitude, and I think you've made a big influence there.
I hope so.
Yes.
If in any way, during all my life, any of these talks, I did that radio talk for Radio Valley, and the whole thing was to tell people to drink responsibly and never do drugs. Drugs are dangerous. They ruin families.
Yes.
They change a person. They become liars, cheats, everything. All the worst things of a human being, the drugs, and it ruins relationships, ruin families. Alcohol somewhere along the line is all right, but I'm not condoning it, but it's not as bad as drugs. The drugs is the scene. You want to stay away from the drug scene.
Yes.
And I'm telling everybody. And that was my trying to get this message across. I did it for quite a few years on Radio Valley.
Yes, Latasha,
and,
the effort that you have put in, very
I hope,
consistently.
and if I've changed one life, it would have been worth it.
For me,
Save
I know
one
at least
life,
two who've come when we had.
It's a blessing, and we are also grateful that we had received this opportunity to make this change in other people's lives. I don't know who they are, but the thing is that it just makes you happy that what I did was worthwhile.
Yes, Dasho, when we were going to start this Life as Art Talk series, we were also very nervous, here in VAST, because we've not done this. And we're not experts or professional in this field. But I think it's for me, what Ajay Karma's aspiration to have people's life, people who, whether they consciously or unconsciously, however they've led their life, being true to themselves, it was important to document it, a bit of it. And why? Because the cyberspace is an archive. And we want, it's not about how many viewership we'll get, but one person, just one person, if it connects and touches their lives and makes a difference. And
we do want to make a try,
Yes, we want to make a try. We don't know who will be hearing this.
I'm sure lots of people, but
will be hearing this,
I don't know.
But we just need
many will agree to agree, agree to disagree.
Everybody's opinion, Mullah.
People have different minds.
Now, Dasho, besides your deeply feeling for the young people, I also know that, Dasho, we've talked about your environmental, as an environmentalist, and the concern for climate change. I just heard that you've been keeping track of the Paro, the river, for now 21 years.
21 years.
And you have picture.
Because that's when I saw it suddenly shrunk, became so small, that visually noticeable, that I called up late Dasho Nadorinchen and I said, "Wait, Nado."
That was
He was the head of NEC by that time.
2004.
2004.
2004.
Wait, Nado,
Yes.
go and have a look at the Paru River. It's what's made it shrink so much.
Las.
And then I started paying attention to Paru River every year.
So you go every winter.
Yeah,
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
Yesterday you took a.
Today I took a picture.
Oh.
I hadn't taken a picture for a few years.
Las.
Quite a few years I haven't taken a picture, but
you know,
I took one today to compare with the old ones.
Las. Dasho, I really would like...
to see those pictures?
No,
Okay.
for everyone, this should be an exhibition.
Yeah.
Of your pictures that you've been taking for this many number of years, you know, and on World Environment Day or on November 11th, you know, as a tribute.
Well, I don't know. I don't see.
If you give it to us, no, we will do the exhibition for you. But of course,
no problem.
We will arrange everything. Okay. I think it deserves. Not it deserves, but more so because it is something.
It's interesting to know.
Yes, it's interesting to know.
You have a record, you have a baseline.
Yes, and for people too.
Why I care about it, because I used to fish Paru River for so many years. Throughout the year, I know exactly what size the river was. The shade, the status of that river for so many. As a fisherman, you know, you build up concern.
For the environment, for the habitat. So
many people didn't approve of me fishing and killing so much fish. Keep telling me, you're going to die one of these days, and there's no forgetting that how many fish you killed. Well, that's too bad. I'll have to face the
Have you ever fished together with Subir, the artist Subir?
No.
Oh, he's another one.
They came much later. Much
later.
Much later.
So Dasho, I'll also like to, you do seem to be, you know, you gravitate towards people who are artists and all. And what is it like? We're all artists. I consider all of us.
Yeah.
It's just that in what forms, whether we've been able to nurture it and practice it further. But inherently, we are all artists. But then the ones who are like really doing it, practicing it, you do seem to gravitate towards them as well. And what is it that quirks you?
I don't know. I'll tell you a story. The artist Chimi. You remember artist Chimi? He was one of the first artists. And he'd come and we the artist Chimi. And he took up golf, and he used to come and play golf. As a kachi artist, Shikara artist, artist. I said, you know something? You have to be a specialist in art. Then you'll become somebody, you know. You have to be an artist. I can recommend to you, you should become a phallic artist. You know, if you are a phallic artist, then you can say, hi, I'm Chimi the artist. Nobody knows. I'm Chimi, the phallic artist. And you're somebody, you know, you're a specialist. And then you learn all about the special phallic symbol, the history, everything in Bhutan, because there's so much link, the phallic to our culture and so that, you know, you could then have different. He thought I was making fun of him. He was very angry. He took a golf club. I think he wanted to hit me with the golf club. You're making fun of me, what?
Oh.
He wanted to hit me, you know.
And it's true. This is where last time me and Mam Diki, we were talking about passion. And then this is where a lot of people who say they're passionate, but after being passionate, then they jump into another passion, then they do not deep dive or become diligent into that field, you know. And then that's where then it fizzles out.
You've lost. But if you specialize and you study and you've really you developed a passion for it, you study it, you know art, you talk about it, and you become an expert at it.
Yes, I do want to, I've always looked at young people also, they're passionate about at a certain stage, you have to explore and
Yeah.
to find your passion and what you
Yes,
connect
which
to.
one?
But once you have a passion, then you
You are a very
have to-
lucky person if you can find your passion.
First of all, but then after that, then comes the dedication and devotion, and
Yeah.
to that field, and that's where you will.
You start rising.
Yes, la. That's where you are being true again,
Yeah.
no la.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you practice la?
No, I don't practice anything.
I'm sure you do la. You practice speaking.
No.
You not practice, but you
I
actually
studied
live.
it in school.
Las.
I studied in school. And the other person who
Writing, writing.
not right. I can't write to save my life.
Las.
I can talk like hell, but I can't
Yes.
write to save my life.
Las. So this is so when I'm saying practice, Dasho, you've given your voice, your speech.
This all came from school.
Yeah.
They all came from school, from elocution, then theater,
Las.
acting.
Las.
Then I acted in plays in school.
You did.
And then when I came back, then I acted in 2 plays for Mrs. Haider.
Oh, las.
2 plays
So you
in
performance
1983 and
artist,
84.
Las. You have a knack for performing.
I didn't know.
arts.
I didn't know I had a knack. It probably developed for me by Mrs. Haider.
Las.
You know, thing. But yeah, well, I suppose in life everybody's an actor.
Yes,
no? And
yes.
Just,
Yes, we are
just at
actually,
different levels, no?
Yes, different stages and
Yeah.
different phases, and we really
So,
are.
and so sometimes you get coached, and because Mrs. Haider used to say, "Your Majesty, you won't act," you know. And his Majesty turned around to me and said, "Act." So I had to act.
Las.
But I used to drink, you know, and eat doma, and God knows what else I didn't do.
Las.
And yeah, despite all that, I managed to complete my 2 assignments
Las.
to do the play.
To the play. Dasho, we also heard that you were one of the first ones to establish the Bhutan Broadcasting Service. Those days it was not called as BBS.
Radio NYAB.
YAB. Las.
NYAB.
NYAB. Las.
The National Youth Association of Bhutan.
Las.
And that was formed by a group of all young students, former, the first Deputy Lenchen, JYT, and late Limpa Jimba, and Ugetsiri, they were all the things. And Dichom was our president.
Oh, Lasla.
Our president, yes, I think she was the president. And we were all having one of these meetings of the Radio NYB, rather the NYB, National Youth Association meetings. And it was Rongtong Karma Tenzing, whom we used to call as Major,
Lasla.
who was a former home student. He was working in the Ministry of Trade and Industry. He came and said, "Why don't we start a radio station?"
Oh.
The government, we were thinking about it, and then the government has a wireless station which is shut every Sunday.
Las.
They're closed, you know, while we could ask the government if we could use this wireless station and we could have our own radio station
Las.
on Sundays.
So this group was
This
average,
the,
average group
this-
age was like
all the young people of Bhutan.
Las.
Yeah, in Thimphu.
Las.
And I think office bearers were like JYT and Dasho Ugetsiri and late Limpa Jimba and all.
Las.
And they were the members, no? And Turi Christian.
Las.
We used to have the meetings in the Swiss bakery.
Las.
And Turi Christian was a radio wireless engineer. So he volunteered to be the engineer.
Oh, Las.
So, but the original idea came from Karma Tenzing, Major, Rongtong Karma Tenzing.
Las.
And he came up with the idea, and then, and I just happened to, they nominated me to be the news reader.
Oh, Las.
So the first voice on Radio NYB.
First
So
voice.
first voice. So the wireless station was up in Taba, and it was in the summer of 1970. So everybody thinks it's 71, 72, 70 after joining the Fourth Kings. No, because that year there was no such thing as Bangladesh. The Vietnam War was still going on. And all these guys, they were given their assignments to write down the news, to listen to VOA, BBC, all that, and then put the news together. And these guys didn't show up, they were late showing up. So I had to start the show. And we started the show, and I said, look, the guys I'm supposed to read the news, but the guys, so let me tell you about NYAB, the Association of the Radio, why we started this. And I was talking about that, and I said, oh, by the way, the time now is 3:30 Bhutan Standard Time. And everybody moved their watch half hour forward.
That was a significant
milestone. And everybody moved their watch half hour forward. And then the people came, with the news came, and then I said, hey, look, it's all about the Vietnam War and all. We're on a good, happy occasion over here. Let's continue with our talk and our thing. And we continued talking about the thing, and I didn't read the news because all about war and all. And so we ended that half-hour session, then music came on. And the next morning, Home Minister arrived in the office, and he said, oh, everybody's early this morning. They said, no, Limpo, you are late. Yeah, time. He moved his watch half forward. Upstairs, late Majesty moved his watch half hour forward. And that was Bhutan Standard Time.
Wow. You hear that?
But Radio BBS will not admit to that. They keep on changing. They wanted to change it to 1975. That's 75, we were well on our way.
Oh, la.
So the real date, this is on record, is 1970 summer.
Las. And Dasho,
because I remember summer, because when we went up there was a little swimming pool in that Taba, little pool, and they're all tadpoles there.
Dasho, with that time,
yeah,
you freezing or moving towards our own sovereignty. That's a significant Bhutan's identity, I think that although just one move, but a very significant move.
It was, I don't know, I was probably drunk at the time. I've done many things.
A good drunk then, that came out as a, I think it's very significant. And Dasho's time, you have, we have this November, His Majesty's 4th King's 70th birthday.
Yes.
If Dasho would like to end this with a message.
Oh, my message is,
because for you,
I think we're
for all of us, but for you, for deeply coming so genuinely, about what you feel for our great 4th King.
Who would have ever thought that he would be such a great king? What a privilege it was. I keep telling all my fellow colleagues, General V. Namgyal and late Guptali, I said, what the hell did we do in our previous life to have reserved the privilege to serve such a great king? It was such a great honor. And we pray for His Majesty's long life and his continued guidance. He will sit up there and look after us and always take care of the Bhutanese people. And people like myself, even though we have long passed our service and all, he's still there to look after all of us. He takes care of our health. How privileged can you be? When he has so many things to think about, he has time to think of all the little ones also. So we are just honored and privileged, and wish His Majesty a very happy birthday and a long life. And for me, just so privileged to be a servant and continue to be a servant of such a great king.
Lasla.
And thank you very much for having me on this show. And I hope that you all will also share my sentiments about His Majesty to all Bhutan.
Yes, Dasho. we can only be, truly be inspired. And in our inspiration, we will act on being better be. We will bring out the best version.
Okay.
Last.
Done.